Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. Today is who knows what installment, part 5, part 6. The 100 Years book haul continued for so long that the heat death of the universe came before I was done hauling books. That glow you see off to my right, that is the last gasp of a dying star. I'm the only one left. There's no light. It's cold. And so before I perish from this earth, I must needs, in order for my soul to be able to cross the Bridge of Swords, I must finish the book haul. I must finish the book haul. I'm frightened and so alone. Oh, well, it looks like I found some artificial lights that, someone left lying around before they perished from being irradiated and burnt by the supernova caused by the entire universe imploding. So, might as well continue with this book haul so that I can... Good grace, this is it! This is the last part of this book haul. And then there's one section that's Terry Pratchett's, just Pratchett books. The next one will be just Pratchett books. Guys, some of these books I got like a year ago. Oh my gosh, but I've been going in alphabetical order and haven't been able to get through all these. Oh my gosh, what is happening to me? I have lost control of my life. So, I'm gonna finish this and, we'll see what books these are. Who knows, guys? But this is it. Thank goodness. Glory be in the saints be praised. Who knows how long it'll be before I have another howl, because I can finally cross these off my spreadsheet of books that I was given or bought like a year ago. This book howl began in the winter of 2020, and it is now almost the winter of 2021. Very, very sad. Well, without wasting any more time, let's get down to business. I'm gonna go ahead and get this beastie started so I don't have to, so it's not like 100 minutes long, because there's a lot, but I refused to break it into 2 parts. Refused. So boom, let's go. First is Boosh, Behind Her Eyes, by whoever it says it's from. By Sarah Pinborough. Sorry, I should have looked at it beforehand. So I bought this thriller, this mystery book, suspense thriller, domestic thriller, I guess, right after I finished reading Behind Closed Doors, which was literally a year ago July. It's been over a year since I got this book, on the recommendation of Jessie May, who recommended Behind Closed Doors to me. And it was, what a ride that freaking book was. Even though, some people didn't like it as much, but, I liked it, so whatever. I don't know what this one's about, but Jessie said that there's no way you can see what's coming, so that's awesome. What is this about? Oh, she arrives on Monday for her new job and finds out that the dude she slept with at the bar is her boss, who is married, and domestic thriller hijinks ensue. It is one of those wretched paperbacks that is too tall. It does not bend at all. I hate this format, but I'm gonna add this to the Agatha Christie, all the thriller things that I can read pretty quickly. If you've read it, tell me if it's as good as Jessie says it is. Next we have Boosh, Hawkwood and Kings by Paul Kearney. Or Kearney. This is one of the quest books, the quest for Flintlock fantasy books that Angela and I made on our spreadsheet. This is actually a combination of the first 2 Hawkwood books, the first being Hawkwood's Voyage, and I don't know what the second one's called. The second one is, but it's the Monarchies of God series. The second book is called The Heretic Kings. And anyway, this deals with I want to say it's kind of a fall of the Byzantine Empire kind of war, where it's in, the East, and there's, I think there's people analogous to, the Turks and stuff like that, but it is military fantasy. It has that Flintlock tech. Hawkwood is a naval captain, so there's not just ground battles, but also naval battles, and this is on the top of my list to actually read for the Flintlock quest. So if you've read Hawkwood, please let us know. I'll probably be getting to this early next year, and again, both books together is 622 pages, so you know, always looking for them short books. Next, I'm going to have a slew of KJ Parker books. Guys, I almost have all of KJ Parker's books, and that's exciting to me. First is Boosh, Colors and Steel. This is book 1 of the Fencer trilogy. This is his original trilogy, the first one that he wrote. I just finished Sharps, which is about fencing. I learned so much about fencing because as I'm reading it, I'm looking up like videos of this fencing terminology. Very clearly, Parker is a fencer, and I wish there's no fencing in the South. Like, I wish there was a school I could go to learn how to fence in the South. I want to learn a demi-volt and third guard, high third guard, middle position or whatever. That'd be awesome. Sadly, there is not. But this is about fencing. I don't know really what else there is, other than the fact that the lawyers are fencers. It calls them a fencer at law. So I guess court cases are decided by fencing, which is freaking awesome. And there's apparently a siege on an impregnable city. Sign me up. I really like Parker. It is hard to recommend Parker to everyone, but the 2 books that I've read of Parker's, Folding Knife and Sharps, I have very, very much enjoyed. So yeah, more Parker. So next by Parker is Two of Swords. This was a serial, like, anthology story that was, I guess, published serially. I guess it's 3 books now, but originally I think it may have just been chapters. But this is a combination of like the first set of them. I don't know what this is about, but it is military fantasy. A soldier with a gift for archery, a woman who kills without a second thought, 2 brothers, both unbeatable generals, now fighting for opposing armies, which is cool. This one came on my radar because a quote came up from it where one of the characters says, "Why are we fighting this war? Because evil must be resisted, and sooner or later there comes a time when men of principle have to make a stand." Which, you know, is right in my bailiwick. But at this stage in the proceedings, he added with a slightly lopsided grin, "mostly from force of habit." And that's just, you know, standard Parker kind of wit and cynicism. But I love the way Parker writes characters and dialogue. It's like kind of a more mean-spirited Pratchett. I don't really know how to describe it other than I like it, but it's hard to recommend for everyone. But I'm definitely excited to read this one. Next is The Hammer. This is another of his standalones. I think he has 4 standalones so far. And I'm going to be reading this one in December with Greg on his channel. This is what his channel voted for us to read. And this, unlike Sharps, I think is more like The Folding Knife, where there's a single character. I think it's Gignemai in this one. And he is from an exiled family, and his mere presence in whatever proceedings could ignite a civil war. That tends to be what most of Parker's things are about, like, you know, someone going and almost igniting a civil war, I suppose. So yeah. So I'm excited to read this one as well, because Folding Knife I liked better than Sharps just because it had Basso the Magnificent. So I'm hoping Gignemai won't be as cool as Basso, but I'm hoping it's at least close. Next is another novella, The Devil You Know. There's a lot of books called The Devil You Know, but this particular one is, I guess, the 3rd book in the Saturninus novellas. We've got Blue and Gold, The Big Score, and then this one. Or they're in some kind of different order. But Saturninus is an alchemist, apparently murdered his wife in Blue and Gold, and then showed up at a bar to talk to the bartender about it. I don't really know why. I'm excited to start reading some Parker novellas, but yeah, added this one to that. I've got most of his stuff. I still need the collection of short works, Father of Lies, and Academic Exercises, and then Savages. And I think I'll have all of Parker's stuff except the continuation of the Fencer and Two of Swords series. But I'll at least have the first one in all of his series. I hope. So, Devil You Know. And my final Parker book is Boosh, The Company. This is actually his first standalone. And this one is about 5 military vets who colonize an abandoned island. And they're like, we're going to live here. And then it turns out they bring all their, like, baggage with them, and they're all stranded, and, you know, people harbor terrible secrets. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one as well. I'm not sure if this takes place in the same world as the other ones, because the other ones kind of take place in the same world. The cover doesn't look super Renaissance-y the way the other ones feel. I'm flipping through to see if I see any Roman names. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm excited to read this as well. Standalones are always welcome in the universe post Heat Death. So next, and this was a gift from my wonderful patron Brett. He got me the freaking Far Side complete collection. Are you kidding me? Guys, I love The Far Side. There are two comics that I read religiously as a youth, and it was The Far Side and it was Calvin and Hobbes. And I already have my my full, complete Calvin and Hobbes, because if you want to know what I was like as a child, Calvin, literally. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I was Calvin when I was a kid. Okay, I mean, if you say so. But I was actually Calvin as a child, like 100%. Freaking Bill Watterson was just like following me around, charting my childhood. So I love The Far Side. I love The Far Side. So thank you so much, Brett. This is another gift from an appreciative viewer in the note. Thanks for all the great content you offer us. Looking forward to learning from your history videos. Hope you're doing well and enjoy this book. God bless, an appreciative viewer. That is awesome. Thank you so much, whoever you are. This is the Landmark Thucydides. Yes! So if you are an ancient history buff, you know about the Landmark series. Over there I have the Landmark, Arian, which charts Alexander the Great's battles, and the Landmark Caesar, which is Caesar in Gaul. I think it's the Gallic War. Is it also Civil War? I don't know. It doesn't say, but it's the Landmark Julius Caesar. And the great thing about the Landmark stuff is it's got footnotes, and I mean, you can't really see it, but it's got like margin notes and footnotes, and it has a ton of maps, like every map you would ever need. It's translations of those ancient writers. Thucydides, who is our source of most of the information about the Second Peloponnesian War, which is a prime thing that I teach in my classical studies class. I love the Peloponnesian War. Oh my gosh, absolutely fascinating. So a lot of my info comes from this and from other sources, but our main primary source is frickin' Thucydides. And so now I have the Landmark version instead of some musty old, just regular translated version. Thank you so much. This is so awesome. Next we have Boosh, Gunmetal Gods by Zamil Akhtar. This is a gift from my patron Josephine, who is just wonderful. And guys, I don't know what this is about. I have no idea. I know it has Janissaries, which are, I know from playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, not Brotherhood, what's that last one? Revelations, that the Janissaries were like the I guess, tough as nails bodyguards in Constantinople. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it's kind of questish, right? It's got the metal and the steam, like, these weird monsters made out of metal, gunmetal gods. I mean, that's freaking cool. Gun-toting paladins? Heck yes. This is a self-published novel, and I think it won something for best cover because these covers are fantastic. So thank you so much, Josephine. Next is Boosh, The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. So, this book was sent to me by K-Fox, who is amazing. Please check her channel out. I have it linked down there below. So, The Dispossessed is, I've heard many people tell me, more people have told me to read this than any other Ursula Le Guin book. It is about a planet of anarchists who, like, separated from the home planet like a long time ago and are now a physicist is trying to unite them. I have just heard that this is excellent. I like having sci-fi books that are standalones, though I think this might be part of is this part of the Hamir cycle? Is that Hamish cycle? Is that what it's called? I don't know if this is part of that. But regardless, I have not actually read any Ursula K. Le Guin, like ever, like any. So, I'm eager to start with this. I've heard nothing but great things about The Dispossessed. I think this one first came on my radar. Kieran at KD Books first told me about this, that I would like it. So hopefully I can get to this soon. Next we have Boosh, Lies of Descent by Troy Carroll Butcher? Bucher? I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize if I messed up this name. So I've never heard anything about this book except for Matt from Books Rebound read it and said it was absolutely amazing. So I bought it. Book 2 isn't even out yet, but I don't know what this is about. The Fallen Gods' War drove the remnants of a victorious army across the ocean in search of a new homeland. 1,000 years later, the lifeless continent of Drygara is largely forgotten, a symbol for the regiments that remain. Demons to some, protectors to others. The power of their god-touched blades have forged a nation, though many resent their absolute control. And then there's two kids who are unknowing descendants of the old world. It begins an epic trilogy of fallen gods, betrayal, and magic, where dark motives often dwell within the true and just, where things most feared sometimes lead to salvation. This looks freaking cool. And again, Matt speaks very highly of it, but I have not gotten to it, and I probably won't, considering book 2 isn't even out yet, but I definitely will get to this. Probably when book 2 gets out, I'll prioritize it. But if you've read this, tell me, is this good? Because I have heard nothing about it other than from Matt. Next, we have Nine Fox Gambit by Yoon-Ha Lee, and this is book 1 of the Machineries of Empire series. I don't know how many books that is, but it is 300 blessed pages long. This was also a gift. I don't have the name on who gifted it to me, but they gifted it to me and said that Angela super recommends this. Angela from Literature Science Alliance, and she does. She actually recommended this to me on her, recommendations for my booktuber friends. And I have heard that this is a military kind of sci-fi that just throws you in, and good luck figuring out all the buzzwords, and that eventually you figure it out, very similar to the way, people talk about Malazan or any other book that begins you in medias res. And so I am excited to read this. Guys, 2021 is going to be it's already 2021. 2022 is going to be the year of the short book. The year of the short fantasy novel or thriller or mystery or whatever. Please ignore that I'm probably going to start Stormlight in January. But other than that, the year of the short book, I'm going to maximize, I'm going to go quantity over quality and read as many short books as I can. And then in 2023, I'll read long books again. Boosh. Next, we have the Sarantine Mosaic books, books 1 and 2, Sailing to Sarantium and Lord of Emperors. This was sent to me by Dr. Kate, who is wonderful. These are by Guy Gavriel, and I have heard that these are incredible. I love Tagana. I have not finished Tagana, even though I think GGK is a fantastic writer, and I have loved what I've read of Tagana, and I'm hopefully finishing it this month. But this is about a mosaicist, a dude who is studying mosaics. And it has a very Byzantine feel, and that's really all I know about it. But from everything I have heard people say that this is his best work, and that is super exciting. This will be my next GGK after I finish Tigana. Next, we have Boosh, The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. So this was sent to me by a viewer, Joseph. Thank you so much, Joseph. And this has been recommended to me for a long time now by Joe from Joe's channel. Who I've shouted out before here. Joe has a great channel. Go check that out. It's actually on my Patreon wheel, so I could be reading this any month now. But this is about a woman who wakes up and has no memory of her past or who she is, other than that she is a rook. Congratulations, she is a secret operative that protects the world against supernatural threats. And it is now a Starz with a Z original series. So I don't know if you've seen any of that, if that show sucks or whatever, but Joe says it's a really good book. It's a standalone, I think, and that it reads really, really quickly. And Joseph obviously agrees since he sent it to me. So yeah, it looks like it's a standalone. So yeah, let me know if The Rook is good also. Again, plotting them standalones in my mind, and it's also not super long. It's only like 450 pages, which is reasonable. Next, we have Boosh, Divinity's Twilight Rebirth by Christopher Russell. So, Christopher Russell kindly sent me this copy of his book, along with like a poster and signature and like sign in the front. Like, thank you so much. And we started talking about this book because of my quest for Flintlock Fantasy and my current delve into the Shadow of the App series. And he contacted me and told me that this book has a similar vibe and has that kind of Flintlock feel, and that one of his favorite series is Shadow of the App, and that was the inspiration for this book. So, this book was already on me and Angela's radar when we made our spreadsheet, but this has moved it up the spreadsheet, just hearing those things, because you guys, if you're watching, I love the Shadow of the App stuff. I love it, I love it, I love it. So, Christopher, thank you so much for sending this to me, and I will definitely try to get to this as soon as I can. Next is Boosh, Winds of Strife by U.G. Gutman, and this is the first book in the Dawnless Night series, is that right? Yes, and this also was very, very kindly sent to me by the author. Now, I have been hearing about this book since it launched last year. Many of my booktube friends have read this and liked it a lot. I hear there is an unlikable protagonist that does some less than forthright things, which is always a challenge, but not necessarily a bad thing. But Leslie speaks very highly of this. I hear is there a witch in it? I think there's a witch. I think there's a witch in this. Or a witch hunter. It's a witch hunter. It's a witch hunter. Uri, I hope that's right. I hope that there's a witch hunter in here and that I didn't like literally completely throw that out. Yes, I just looked at the back. It is Witch Hunter. Yes. So thank you so much, Uri, for sending this to me. And I'm hoping to get to this next year as well. But I will get to it as soon as I am able. Thank you very much. And also, look at this cover. Like, I love the color scheme on this cover. So good. Another book to me sent to me by the author, and this is Boosh, Voice of War by Zach Argyle. Book 1 of the Threadlight series. So. Zach so kindly sent me this book, guys, and I am so ecstatic. This is the only book of its kind in existence. Signed it. Don't forget to clear the buzzer. If you don't know, Bookborn, Hillary is Zach's wife, and Hillary was on Jeopardy, and she will ever be known as the one who reminded me to clear the buzzer, and so now I'm better at it. Like, thank you, Hillary, for reminding me to clear the buzzer on that. But this was one of the original hardbacks, or the original, I guess, like prototype hardback that has, it looks different. I think there is more black on this than there is white. I think it was inverted. Was it inverted? If you have the hardback of Voice of War currently, was it inverted? But this is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this naked hardback. Like, this is so cool. And I have been wanting to get into this series since all of my friends recently have literally been freaking reading it and keep talking about, what? There's a picture of a chroma wolf? Look at that. Look at that. Zach, did you draw this? Like, who drew your chroma wolf? Is that the red? Is that green wolf on the cover of Stones of Light? Anyway, I want to read this pretty bad. I actually listened to a sample of the audio of this just because Zach posted on his Twitter about, which I'll link down below, about the audio being done for the second book. And dude, like, that guy's got an awesome voice, like very deep and British. Except that wasn't British, but it is very deep. Anyway, I'm hoping to get to this soon. I think when Zach, I follow him on Twitter, so you know, when I see like book 3 in the bag, boosh, I think I'll pick this up and prep for that third book. So thank you so much, Zach, for sending this to me. Oh my gosh, I still have so many! How am I not done? Ah! Next we have Torch Against the Night by Saba Tahir, sent to me by Charmaine in an attempt to force my hand into reading the second book in the Ember and the Ashes series, I guess quartet. Ember and the Ashes was fine, but I mean, it was just bad villains, and like not a second of it was unpredictable. I have heard mixed things. This is either really good or really bad. No one is like, it's fine. So it's either the worst one or the best one of the series. So we'll see. It is weird that I want to keep reading Ember and the Ashes, but I like to finish series I start as long as I don't hate them. And I didn't hate it. It was very, very easy read. I will say that. Tahir is a very, very good technical writer, and so it goes very, very fast. It doesn't get bogged down. But I only care a little bit. So I do want to see where it goes. Maybe this one will be the one where I'm just like, you know what? I just don't care. I'm hoping that my friend Angela's favorite character, Keenan, is in this one a lot. And I also hope, just to spread the cruelty around, I also hope, Charmaine, if you're watching, I hope Hilo dies in Jade Legacy. Next we have Boosh, Raven Cry by Ed McDonald. This is book 2 of the Raven's Mark series. I just finished Blackwing last month. You can check out my review. So good. I did not know what to expect, but I loved it. Just so many things that I like the aesthetic, like Gunslinger plus Borderlands plus Lovecraft plus like a detective novel. Like, it was just good. It was just good. I can't say too much about what this one is about because it spoils the first one, but just what a cool series Blackwing started. So I'm hoping to read this real soon. I also got Boosh, By Fire Above by Robin Bennis, and this is book 2 of the duology that starts with The Guns Above and ends with By Fire Above. This is about the first female airship captain, and it is Flintlock adjacent, meaning it's kind of steampunkish. It's part of that kind of subgenre, and that we're reading on the quest. And this is near the top of the list. It's short. It looks like a fun read. I have heard excellent things about this. So yeah, so this is hardcover. The one that I ordered off of eBay, the paperback a long time ago, was like, it was someone's arc. So there's not even a freaking map of the airship in the front. And so when I went to order this, the hardcover was cheaper, so I just ordered this and a hardcover of the first one. I don't normally read hardcover, but when it's all you got, so. Next we have Boosh. It looks like it says no man is above the law, but that's not what it's called. It's called The Justice of Kings. Coming out February 2022. This is an arc so kindly sent to me by Orbit Books and Angela, a publicist over at Orbit, and I am so excited. Like, I'm so happy that I was able to get an arc of this. It's like numbered. It's like 1 of 100 of them. Yeah, this is 27 of 100, signed by Richard Swan. So this is book 1 of a planned trilogy. I think it's something about a wolf trilogy. Like, there's not even any maps in it. It's like, hey, this page is reserved for where the map's going to be. I don't bloody know. It's called something of the wolf. You can look it up. Oh, Empire of the Wolf. So guys, I'm going to read this book to you, and then you go ahead and pre-order it. Just let me read the back to you, and then you can hear it be like, oh, Alan, and then you can pre-order this beast. So, Sir Conrad von Volt is a justice, a judge, jury, and executioner all in one. He is sworn to travel the empire and uphold the law by way of his sharp intellect, arcane powers, and skill as a swordsman. Yet these are dangerous times, even for a justice. Introducing an unforgettable protagonist destined to become a fantasy icon, The Justice of Kings is an unmissable debut where action, intrigue, and magic collide. Are you kidding me? A traveling magistrate with arcane powers, sharp intellect, and skill as a swordsman? Greatcoats vibes all the way. I am so excited to read this and share my thoughts with you guys. I hope I love it, guys. I hope that I love it. But if that sounds awesome, please go pre-order this now. I'll be reading this before February for sure. Next we have Boosh, Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler. So this is book 2 of the Burning Blade and Silver Eye. Probably trilogy, I guess. So, the first book, Ashes in the Sun, is one of my earlier reviews from last year, and I am a huge fan of Django Wexler. If you've listened to this channel at all, I really like the Shadow campaigns. What an excellent series, especially Flintlock Fantasy. It should be the quintessential Flintlock series over Powder Mage, in my opinion. I think it's a better series. Again, having read all of it and only read 1 of Powder Mage. And Wexler also has a YA series that I have not yet read. Ashes of the Sun is it reads more young adult than Shadow Campaigns does, and part of that is because the 2 protagonists are young, but just again, some of the common tropes you find in YA. But there is a lot of good stuff in there. If you like Star Wars, read freaking Ashes of the Sun, because he even says it's based on, heavily inspired by Star Wars, where when they're young, the younger sister is kind of taken in by the Federation, which is the Empire, I guess, and the parents are killed or something, and then the older brother is looking for her forever, and is a member of the rebellion, and she's one of the, she's a Jedi essentially, and has these freaking cool elemental powers and a lightsaber. They all have lightsabers, but it's based on whatever element. She uses fire, and that's why she's called Burning Blade. But there's people like wind blades and crap, and it's super cool. A lot of really cool ideas. They just didn't all click with me, which makes me sad. But I liked it enough. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I liked it enough to continue for sure. And I think the main reason that I did not like Ashes of the Sun is one of the secondary characters that's won the brother storyline is a character that embodies the danger makes me horny trope, which I despise. I just hate it. I hate the danger makes me horny trope, and it is like amped up to like an exponential degree, and it's super annoying, and I like that, like a full star of enjoyment for sure every time they were in it. So I didn't like that, but I'm hoping this one will be better. It's about 200 pages shorter than the last one, but this just came out in October, so I know Matt loves this series from Books Rebound, but I definitely hope to get to this soon, and these covers are fantastic. Whoever's doing these covers, I would love to find out. Designed by Lauren Panapinto, cover illustration by Scott Fisher. You guys are brilliant. Like, these covers are fantastic. Next, we've got Boosh the Empress by S.J. Kincaid. So this was sent to me by Leanna, again, and to induce me into reading the second book in the Diabolic series. I read the Diabolic in August as part of my TBR swap with Leanna, and it was fantastic. I mean, I really, really liked it, especially the first half. The first half were 5 stars, and then the second half was like 3 stars, and so it equaled out to a 4-star. I liked it. I am eager to see where it goes, so I will read this. I will read this. I have more interest in continuing this series than I do Ember in the Ashes. Next, also sent to me by Leanna in an attempt to, make me keep reading a series, is The Spider by Leo Carew. This is the continuation of Under Northern Skies series, something like that. This is the sequel to The Wolf, with The Cuckoo due out next year. I definitely want to read this before The Cuckoo comes out. I liked The Wolf. There were some things I didn't like. It definitely reeks of this is my first novel, and I don't trust the reader to remember information, so I have to keep reminding you. But I did like a lot about the wolf, especially the character who is the spider. So, I can't say much, but you should not have dealt with the spider. So, if you want to see me and Leanna talk about the wolf, or if you've read it, you'll know where this is. But again, I can't say too much about continuation of books. Next, Boosh, Kings of Paradise by Richard Nell. And this is book 1 of the Kingdoms of Ash and Sand, Ash and Sand trilogy. This was sent to me by my friend and patron Joe a long, long time ago. And this, again, is on my patron wheel for me to read. I know that Philip loves this book. I know that this is one of Joe's favorite series of all time. I know it's one of Patrick's favorite series. I think, oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna delete this. If I'm gonna go check and see if Patrick actually likes this series, and then I'm gonna delete this clip if he doesn't, because I'm so tired of attributing Patrick liking things. But I'm fairly certain Patrick really likes this series. I have heard that this is super, super grimdarky, like very nihilistic and brutal kind of thing, which, sometimes is my thing and sometimes isn't. But with such high praise from Joe and Philip, pause for editing in case Patrick doesn't like it, and Patrick, then I'm kind of hoping the wheel lands on this at some point. Though my friend Charmaine said she read the beginning and then just couldn't do it anymore. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the font inside it. It just, I don't know, it's not super readable for my eyes, but the cover is great. Next is Boosh, Never Die by Rob J. Hayes, also sent to me by my friend and patron Joe, again on my patron wheel. And also, guys, less than 300 pages. Glory be and the saints be praised. So this, Jesse and Elle just finished reading this and they described it like an anime. Most people describe it like an anime. I know that Patrick likes this series. But I've just heard it's a fun read. It's an excellent read. It's very samurai anime-esque. And guys, that excites me because, again, my focus in college was East Asian politics and Japanese history. And so anything that's kind of like that draws off inspiration from East Asia or Japan specifically is in my bailiwick. So thank you, Joe, for sending me those books. Next we have Boosh right here. This is books 6 through 10 of the Shadows of the App series. Sea Watch, Heirs of the Blade, The Air War, War Master's Gate, and Seal of the Worm. I don't want to look too much at the covers or the backs because it spoils crap. It's a 10-book series, guys. It is military fantasy. Anybody could die at any time. I don't want to know if they're alive in book 10, but there you go. Like, these are the covers that I went with. I really like these covers. I do not understand why. Let me show you. I don't understand. Please explain to me how these are the same. They are from the same company. They're from the same company, just like my Thief Taker books. But look, why? Why is the Sea Watch bigger than Heirs of the Blade? It literally makes no sense. It is Tor. It is the same company. Why would you do this? Why? This is not, this is rude. This is rude. So anyway, I am so excited to have these. I have most of Tchaikovsky's fantasy books now. I have most of Tchaikovsky's works, period, and that excites me because Tchaikovsky is fast becoming one of my favorite authors. All right, next we have Boosh, Imaginary Friend. I've had this for a while. On Jessie's recommendation. This is one of her favorite books of all time. Jake from Bookish Drummer also loves this book. This is one of his favorites. It is very long, and apparently it is about a kid that goes missing and then comes back and has an imaginary friend. And everyone kind of says, everyone really except Jessie and Jake say it's about 200 pages too long. I will probably agree with that because, I'm literally taking a stance and starting a holy war against long books right now. But I do want to read this. I feel so bad for Jesse and Jake because everyone that reads it hates it except for them. Sharon kind of liked it and then when it was done was like, it's too long. But most everyone else who reads it just hates it. And so I feel so bad for Jesse and Jake. I might read this and try to hate it a lot so that I can contribute, pile on, and make Jesse and Jake feel even worse. But I secretly hope that I like it. I just probably won't tell them. So next we have Boosh, The Gilded Cage, or just Gilded Cage by Vic James. And this is a gift from Kristen at Red Red Wine, I think for my birthday in March. Guys, it's October. This is unacceptable. So this book is, again, short, 340 pages. I have literally never heard one word about this book from anyone. And I want to say that this is a YA novel, and I only say that just because of how spaced out the words are. I don't really know. Like, just in the YA books that I've read, the words are more spaced out than in the adult books. Anyway, this is what it's about. In modern day Britain, magic users control everything: wealth, politics, power, and you. If you're not one of the ultimate 1%ers, the magical elite, you owe them 10 years of service. Do those years when you're old and you'll never get through them. Do them young and you'll never get over them. And so yeah, it's about two families. The one family that controls the other family. And they'll all discover whether any magic is more powerful than the human spirit. And it's about, there's two families, one of which is the elite magic users and one is the servitude ones, and they each have 3 kids and their fates are intertwined. If you've read this, please tell me about it. I've never heard anything about it. I'm not even sure. I think it's a standalone, but it just seems freaking cool. So, thank you so much, Kristen. Next, Boosh, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I got this book because it was the first Ruth Ware book. I've heard Ruth Ware is good at writing thrillers, though I've heard so many mixed things. Like, it seems like Ruth Ware is hit or miss with everybody. Like, they like this one, but not that one. I like this, so I don't know. But I do, again, I don't know how many times I gotta say it. I like these short, easily read, kind of thriller, suspense, fast books. I'm hoping to read a lot more of these next year, so I'm just starting my Ruth Ware journey here. If you know any other people like Ruth Ware or, Blake Crouch, Agatha Christie, I know she's different, but any of those people who write these short thriller mystery books, suspense books, let me know because I want to add more. People like Crouch and Ware. Next is Boosh, I, Claudius by Robert Graves, and this was sent to me by a wonderful subscriber named Danielle with such a nice note, so thank you so much. I, Claudius, I have read parts of long time ago, back when I was in school, but I, Claudius is a fictional autobiography by Emperor Claudius, which it says in here because he had a horrific stutter and he drooled and Claudius, and much of it's weird how much of what is in the public consciousness of Claudius comes from this and not from Suetonius. And Graves obviously is a historian, and he drew from Suetonius, but this is the fictionalized account of that. And Claudius is just one of the most fascinating emperors. Like, if you know anything about Claudius, you know that frickin' Augustus hated his guts and hid him away because he was crippled, and that was bad luck, and Augustus was very, very superstitious. Neither him nor Livia wanted him in, Augustus' granddad, wanted him in politics because he was an embarrassment to the freaking, Julio-Claudian line. And, so they put him away and he was fine. He never joined politics. He was just a scholar and wrote history books until one of his books was critical of Augustus' civil wars. And then he's like, hey, kid, stop it. Quit that. And they took his books away and wouldn't let him write history anymore. Poor Claudius, and I think his mom called him a monster, and it's just, poor Claudius. It's so sad. And then, his wife, Messalina, literally had a competition with a prostitute to see who could sleep with more people in a single night. As if that won't scar you. But he was also a brilliant emperor. He had one of the longest reigns of the early emperors. It's insane. He conquered Britain. You know who didn't conquer Britain? Caesar. Shh. Don't tell him I said that. He'll get very upset. But, conquered Britain, and Claudius, he was very, very intelligent. So this is if you haven't read I, Claudius and you're interested at all in the Roman Empire, I, Claudius, where it's at. Excellent book. Boosh, The Thousand Deaths of Arder Ben by Tyler Whitesides. This is book 1 of The Kingdom of Grit. which is not a good title. It's not a good series name, The Kingdom of Grit. You know, I don't like gritty things. So already this book has a strike against it, with it being too bloody long. 700 pages. It's too long, Mr. Whitesides. I have also not heard the best things about this. My friends call this the dragon poop book, because I think the magic is done with dragon poop, which is weird. So I don't really know. Like, I think people want me to put this on the quest. I don't know if it is. Cover design by Lauren Panapinto. It is a good cover, but she didn't draw it, but she did design it. So yeah, if you like Arter Ben, make the case for it down in the comments on whether or not I should read this, because this is, just from what I've heard from people whose opinions I trust, this is pretty low on the totem pole. Next is Boosh, of Sea and Shadow by Will White. So this book is The Elder Empire First Sea. These books are freaking cool because there are two books that are happening simultaneously, but from different perspectives. So of Sea and Shadow, everyone has an opposite of Shadow and Sea, and that one takes place kind of like with the Assassin's Guild or whatever. Well, this one takes place more, naval stuff, but the things are happening simultaneously. Same thing with the second book and the third book. The second book is of Dawn and Darkness, or Darkness and Dawn, and then of Kings and Killers, of Killers and Kings. And that, like, what a cool frickin' concept, Will White. Awesome. Also by Will White, I have Unsold, which is book one of the Cradle series, which so many people speak so highly about. I know that Petrick likes it. I know that my buddy Andrew at Andrew's Wizardly Reads loves it. Pretty much Q and TG love this. Pretty much anyone who's read this series loves it. They say it's, again, another one of these anime cum novels. Less than 300 pages. I think it's like 10, 12 books now or something. Nice. Next we have Charmcaster and Soulbinder. This is book 3 and 4 of the Spellslinger series by Sebastian de Castell. I've only read Spellslinger, the first one. I want to get to the rest of them. I just haven't had a chance yet. One of these is from Vish. Thank you so much. One of them is from my wonderful friend Angela. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to get to these soon. These will absolutely be prioritized very, very soon, because I love Sebastian de Castell and I haven't read these yet. And then finally, both from my mother, one for Christmas and one for my birthday, it's the final two books, City of Blades and City of Miracles by Robert Jackson Bennett. So these are the final two books of the Defined Cities trilogy. I hate them. I don't want to look at them because just having them means that I am going to fail a challenge. I'm going to fail a challenge because they exist, because Robert Jackson Bennett hates me, and the challenges I lose are always from frickin' RJB books. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry if they ran a little long. This is the book haul at the end of the universe. That is it. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I'm finished. All I have left is a Pratchett book haul, where I can talk about the Pratchett books that I've gotten, really kind of completing my collection, really. Almost. I'm missing a couple, but I have almost all of them now. Fantastic. Guys, thank you so much. If you are someone who has sent me a book for any reason, for my birthday, for last Christmas, for just because, you guys are absolutely wonderful, and I am just completely overawed by the generosity of this community. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for your support. As always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.